Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby. It seems like every single time I'm done reading a brand new chapter of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, it ends with a cliffhanger ending that I know is just going to completely mess with my head for the next month, because everybody's going to be talking about it. Everybody's going to be talking about the final moments of the latest chapter of the series. So I'm going to go ahead and put up that big old spoiler warning right now. If you haven't read the latest chapter of Boruto, please go check it out. It's pretty freaking insane. Alright, you've been warned. Here we go. So, all of a sudden, at the end of this chapter, after Isshiki has seemingly been defeated and crumpled into alien dust, we get to see that Boruto's body has been taken over by the spirit of Momoshiki, and in an act of extreme violence, shoves a kunai directly into the eye of Sasuke Uchiha, his freaking Rinnegan eye. This is shocking to say the least. I don't see how Sasuke is going to recover from this at all, and he very well may have just lost his most powerful asset. And Momoshiki is here. He's back. It looks like this might be one of the biggest twists of the entire series. They've been building up Isshiki to seem like he's going to be the end-all, be-all threat to the rest of the show, but still the shadow of Momoshiki continues to loom over the entire series, and we get to see all of it coming to fruition in the latest chapter, and damn, it is just shocking as hell. It's only a small part of this chapter, but man, it is the absolute punctuation mark of fucked up that truly makes this chapter for me. That being said, I don't want to steal Kawaki's thunder. He was really awesome in this chapter, as he was there to confront Isshiki and to potentially save everybody, especially Naruto, who is practically on his deathbed. Naruto just had a brand new power-up, which, while was really cool, didn't really amount to jack shit when it compared to the power of Isshiki, who again was also just minutes away from being destroyed. And most of this chapter is all about him desperately trying to capture Kawaki, and it leads to a lot of really great action moments, as well as getting to see Ishiki's character break down a little bit. You could see he's starting to get a little more nervous and insane and way more savage as he's constantly trying to get a hold of Kawaki. But the fact of the matter is, Kawaki has changed as a character. He has been heavily influenced by Naruto, and really, that's kind of one of the biggest things about the entire series, is how Naruto has managed to change the thoughts and feelings of many of the characters, even those who have the coldest of hearts. And Kawaki is no exception. He has grown attached to Naruto and everyone else in Konoha Village, and that's what sort of pushed him so far in this chapter right here to actually try and stop Isshiki, knowing that he only has about 5 minutes left before he is actually going to crumble. And they actually make it seem like he is going to be captured and the karma is going to be implanted into him, and Isshiki is going to somehow take over his body. And it almost seems like that's going to happen. But then we get to see the oldest ninja trick in the book. It's amazing how they can take one of the most stock abilities from the series, something that's been around since literally episode 1, and they managed to use it to trick one of the biggest villains of the entire franchise. So basically, Isshiki ends up grabbing onto Kawaki, he's getting ready to plant the karma, and it starts to work, when suddenly we get to see the big poof moment. It's actually just a freaking shadow clone that was created by Kawaki, a technique that he's not very good at. He was only able to create one clone, but since of course it was a clone and it didn't have the power to sustain the karma, Isshiki loses. He ends up crumbling into dust, Kawaki smashes on top of him, and basically, that's the end of it. It's a nice little twist. And then Boruto just comes in, stabs Sasuke in the eye, and Momoshiki has taken control of his body. What this means for the future of the series is hard to say, especially when you want to keep going back to that first scene at the beginning of the manga and of the Boruto anime, where you get to see Boruto and Kawaki battling against each other, and it's kind of hard to say what's truly going on after this moment right here. I mean, for all we know, Boruto right there was being taken control of by Momoshiki, possibly, and then you got Kawaki. Is that really him? Is this some other sort of crazy plan? Is Isshiki really dead? Is there another ridiculous failsafe that the Otsutsuki clan actually has in terms of utilizing this ability? Is Isshiki even dead? Is he I think at this point we could just presume he is deceased, but it's kind of hard to say in this moment, especially considering we had that scene at the beginning of the show. You know, it really messes with my head in this moment, and considering that when Boruto actually seems to have his body taken over by Momoshiki, he has that like weird horn that comes out from his head. That is completely absent at the beginning of the show. So again, it's just confusing. I just want to know. So what's the rundown on the latest chapter of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations? It is hard to say the least, of what's really going to be happening after this. With Boruto being taken over, Sasuke potentially losing an eye. I don't know how they're going to bring that back. I don't know what sort of weird, crazy, mystical ninjutsu they're going to have to do in order to potentially save those abilities. And it's hard to say if Sasuke is actually going to be losing an eye at this point, and it sucks that it had to be the Rinnegan one. I mean, clearly, that's really what put Sasuke over the top. That's not to say that his Sharingan isn't godlike, but that's what sort of pushed him to that brand new level. And throughout the course of this entire battle, a lot of eyes have been on Naruto, especially with the potential of him using his brand new abilities that he could potentially die. And then basically they just flip the script and they're like, actually no, it's Sasuke who's going to end up getting severely injured and completely crippled, all by a such standard ninja technique. Again, that's what was interesting about this entire chapter. You have these godlike characters that are in this show. I mean, Naruto, Sasuke, Isshiki, these are clearly the three like most powerful characters in the series that exist at this point in the timeline, and both of them, two of them, Sasuke and Isshiki, were undone by two of the simplest techniques that we've seen from the series. That's not to say that the Shadow Clone technique is simple. It's very difficult to actually pull off, but still it's something that we've seen so much of that it's actually been kind of standard in the series, and we've seen enough characters actually utilize it to the point where most of the time it's just used for trickery. A lot of the times it's used and you find out about it and then they move on to something else. The fact that it was instrumental in taking down Isshiki, and then you have Sasuke who ends up getting effectively defeated with a single kunai, the most standard weapon in the entire series. I think it's just because of such a surprise that it was Boruto that actually did it and they couldn't sense that this was actually going to happen. And I'm interested to see where this is going to go for the rest of the series, if they're going to continue to have to fight against Boruto. What a twist would it be if Boruto ends up becoming like one of the main villains of the entire series just because his body's taken over? What if he swaps with Kawaki? What if Kawaki is the one who actually ends up becoming the hero? Again, this doesn't necessarily align with what we saw at the beginning of the Boruto anime and manga, but it leads to so many questions, and it sucks. We gotta wait another month for all of this. That's my biggest complaint about the Boruto manga, and it has been since day one, waiting every month for a brand new chapter. It just sucks so much that we have to wait so damn long. That being said, I think this was a fantastic chapter right here with a really shocking twist ending, and I just can't wait to see more. Again, I love making these videos because I want to hear from you guys. That's what I think is most important here. I want to hear your thoughts about this entire chapter. Is Isshiki officially dead? Will he return somehow? And what about Sasuke getting his eye stabbed by Momoshiki Boruto? What's going to happen here? Is he somehow going to heal himself? Is there going to be another twist here? What do you guys think is going to happen? What do you hope to see from the future of the series? And of course, just giving me your overall thoughts and opinions about the latest chapter right here. Sound off. Comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. I would also like to take this time to thank all of my patrons. You guys are freaking awesome. Can't thank you enough for all the donations that you're making. Remember, first-time donators, I'll review an anime series of your choice. I have a Patreon review, which is going to be coming up before the end of the year, so please make sure to stay tuned for that. I'm very excited about this one, and of course, I'd love to add your name to this list of all of these amazing people. You guys are the producers of Ace Guru. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.